No one is coming to save you. Sorry to break that news to you, and I'm sorry if you've been holding on, waiting for that person to come in and save you from whatever struggle that you're going through. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Aaron James, and if you're new here, welcome. It's really important that you understand what I said at the start. No one is coming to save you. If you remember the podcast episode that I did with Andy, one of my clients, I'll link it up here and also in the show notes. He said that before working with me, his expectations were that I had to come and save him. He wanted me to save him. And recently I spoke with another client who said the exact same thing. And it got me thinking that actually when I was at my lowest, that is what I kept thinking. It's okay, someone's going to come in and save me. Someone's going to come and save me. Someone's going to come and save me. And the reality was that it was that thinking that kept me stuck, because it then basically took all the pressure away from me and basically put the pressure on someone else to come in and fix the mess that I got myself into. And that is such a disempowering state to be in, and I don't want that for you. So today I want to give you 3 things that you can do if you are feeling stuck and wishing that someone would come and save you, because the reality is that no one is coming. And that may be brutal, but you need to hear it. You need to hear it and you need to accept it. No one can come and save you because you have all the answers. No one knows you better than you know yourself. No one has the answers to get you out of the situation that you're in apart from you. Now, people can come in like myself and we can guide, but we can't save. That's not what we do. That's not what coaches, mentors, therapists, counselors, that's not what they do. We can only go up to that 50-yard line and we can't go any further. You have to meet us the other 50 yards and actually do the work and actually figure out some of the stuff. So what are 3 things that you can do if you are in that headspace and just waiting for someone to come and save you? The first thing you can do is you can ask yourself some very simple questions. They're simple questions, but if you actually take the time to sit, study the question, and allow yourself to really get into the answer, it will be profound. So the question to start off with is, what kind of person have I been recently? What kind of person have I been recently? And be honest with yourself. Hold that mirror up to yourself and be as brutally honest as you possibly can. What kind of person have you been recently? And then the second follow-on question from this is this the real, authentic version of you? Because I know in my past, the way that I was acting and this version of me that I was portraying to the world and the way that I was showing up into the world, it wasn't me. I was brought up with really good manners. I've got really good morals and values. And somewhere along the line, I'd lost that and it got blurred and mixed up. And the reason why I was so stuck is because I was living in such disalignment with this true, authentic version of me. So what we need to do is we need to ask ourselves, well, how have we been showing up? And what's that real version of you? Because then you can start to see the gap. And once you start to see the gap, you can then close the gap. But once again, you have the answers. You have to be honest with yourself and don't allow yourself to get into that victim mindset of, yeah, but this person, yeah, but that person, yeah, but this situation. Yes. All those things may be true and valid. But what we're doing here is we're taking responsibility as much as we can so that we can then actually make the changes necessary to get us out of that place that we feel someone needs to come in and save us. Now, the final follow-on for that question, so the first one is, what kind of person have I been? Second one, is this the real version of me? Is this the true, authentic version of me? And the third part from this is, if it's not been that best version of you that's been showing up, what needs to change? What needs to change? You know the answer. You may not want to admit it to yourself. You may not want to say it out loud, but what needs to change? Sit and really think about it. And as I always say to people, you don't have to do any of these exercises. You don't have to do them. But I promise you, if you're struggling, these exercises will massively help. Actually take some time. Dedicate 30 minutes to sit down and answer those 3 questions. And I promise you, the information that will be presented to yourself from yourself will help you massively. So that's the first thing you can do. The second thing to do is just check in with yourself and ask, where's your energy going? Because once again, I look back at myself when I was struggling and in that place when I was crying out for someone to save me, I was drained. I was mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually drained. And there's a great quote that I heard recently, and I've used something very similar, but this for me really, the visualization of it really helps. You can't draw from an empty well. You can't draw water from an empty well. And so many times we're trying to get out of this situation, not realizing that there's the water, this life source of us, like there's this thing that we've got, it's just drained, it's gone. And if you take a look back, as you were drawing water from this well, you'd have noticed that the water would have gone down and down and down and down. Just like your energy. It didn't just go overnight, but just slowly would have been depleted. And we're just ignoring those warning signs. So what we need to do is just take a step back and be like, okay, well, where's my energy gone? Where's this water gone? Where's it gone? And who or what has drained it? Because once you combine those two things, you can then start to notice a pattern. Do you have mood hoovers and energy vampires that are draining you? Do you need to set better boundaries? Do you have really poor routines? We talked about routines before, but again, if you have no routines, if you're absolutely exhausted because you've got a terrible bedtime and you're waking up at all hours, scrolling on the phone, whatever it is, those things will drain your energy. They will drain your water. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get more water out. There's nothing there. Your phone, again, if your phone was flashing on 1% battery, what would you do? You'd charge it. And you'd actually look, is there any apps in the background that are draining the battery? We do it for our phone, but we don't do it for ourselves. So if you are, again, feeling in that place where you're feeling stuck and you feel like you're waiting for someone to come save you, first thing, answer those questions. Second thing, look at your energy and ask yourself, what or who is draining my energy? And what can you then do about it? And the third thing is, and this is a real powerful one, real key one. I have a lot of conversation with people about this, and I met someone yesterday for a chat, and I was talking to them about this. Most people in life want to be happy. And the reason why we want someone to come save us is we think that that person will save us and then we'll be happy. And then once we're in that comfortable place, we'll then start to be successful. So the two things that people want when they come see me is happiness and success. And I'll always say to them, so I'm going to say it to you, if we can agree that happiness is the ultimate goal, because that ultimately is the goal, people say, oh, no, it's having money. Okay, well, if you had loads of money, what would you do? Oh, buy loads of houses. Okay, and then what? Oh, then loads of cars. Okay, then what? Oh, then I bring my friends around to the big house. Okay, and then what? And then we'll have a great party. And then what? And then you could break it down. At the end of the day, and then I'll be happy. And then I'll be happy. That's the key part. But if I say to you right now, what does happiness mean to you? What does happiness mean to you? And what does happiness look like to you? If you can't answer that question, how are you ever going to know when you get there? Or more importantly, how are you ever going to know how to get there? You're not. So you're just driving around in the dark. You need to plug a destination into that sat nav so that you know, maybe you're going there and it's like, this isn't the right way, because you know it's moving you further away from the ultimate goal. So you need to have this definition. This is kind of what happiness means to me. And it's completely subjective. Your version of happiness, my version of happiness, the people in my life, every single person is individual. So you need to define happiness to you. It's specific to you. Define it. And then when you're faced with situations, when it comes to the energy vampires and mood hoovers, is this person making me happy or not? Yes or no? And the second question on top of that, with the happiness one, what does success mean to you? I'm not talking about a monetary thing here. I'm not talking about, you've got to be the top earner. I'm not talking about anything crazy like that. I'm talking about on a basic fundamental level, what does success mean to you? For you to feel successful, what does that look like and what does that feel like? Once again, define it, because once you define it, you then have that clear pin to move towards. You have that clear point to move towards. And actually, you can then start to, once a week, just evaluate, have I actually moved towards this version of happiness and success that I claim that I want? It's also understanding that your version of happiness and success will change as you get older. Again, I'm 35. My version of happiness now and success now is very different to when I was 30, to when I was 25, to when I was 15. So just check in with yourself. And key thing here that I've worked on with a few clients is that thing you say is your version of success. Is that truly your version of success? Or is that someone else's version of success that you have taken on and not questioned? Because if you are pursuing someone else's version of happiness and success, that will also lead you to a place where you feel like someone needs to come and save you and get you out of the dark place that you're in. Ask yourself the difficult questions, check where your energy's at, and find and define your version of happiness and success. But remember, no one is coming to save you. And that's a good thing, because they can't. You are the person that needs to come and save you. Until next time, take it easy.